Welcome back. If you don't have space for your stuff, a storage unit is one of the first ideas that might come to mind.
But before you rush into signing any rental agreement, you may want to take a moment to watch this story from 21 Investigates reporter John Wagner.
Storage units. The concept is pretty simple. You pay a company and they keep your stuff safe.
Yeah.
That's the whole exchange, isn't it?
That is the whole exchange. That is the whole agreement.
And that's the expectation Christina Parker, her husband, and her son had when they rented a unit from Storage Rentals of America in Waynedale around 3 months ago.
That's why people even go to you.
Like a lot of families in an uncertain economy, they were scaling back where they could while trying to hold on to what they've got.
We were downsizing. We went from 2-bedroom to the 1-bedroom we're in right now.
With 3 people in a 1-bedroom apartment, needless to say, there just wasn't space for toolboxes, tools, and a welding machine that Christina's husband used for work. To store all that and a few odds and ends, they just needed space, and SROA seemed to fit the bill.
It was just a storage unit like any other storage unit in town. It was cheap. You know, we didn't need a massive amount of space.
It wasn't long after Christina's husband found someone else's lock on their unit, and a day later...
They cut the lock off, they opened it up, and there was nothing. I felt sick. I felt angry. I broke down crying.
After the initial shock of loss, the Parkers started doing the footwork anybody would. They filed a police report. It was that first step when they started to see the situation a little more clearly.
So when my husband had to file the police report, the officer he talked to told him that there had been at least 7 other units that had been broken into. I don't know if it was at that same time. It seems too much to me.
It turns out that number was low. 21 Investigates reached out to Fort Wayne Police. They told us between July 1st of 2024 and June 30th of 2025, there'd been 35 reported break-ins to storage units around Fort Wayne. And the same time the year prior, there were 115 reported break-ins. Along with the police report, the Parkers reached out to the storage company for help. They say they were told SROA's insurance would maybe cover up to $2,000.
We had to make a list of, try to remember what was in there.
This second step proved a little harder than the first for Christina.
Sitting there having to make a list of your stuff and try to remember whatever you had put in there because you didn't think that something like that was going to happen is just so depressing.
Christina and her husband did compile a list and figure the value of all that was stolen was worth around $5,000. They sent that list to the storage company, but it's not really clear what happens next.
I don't know what the time frame is for them actually turning around and getting us anything, and frankly 2K is not going to do it. I want my stuff back, and if I'm probably not going to get it back from the thieves, and they've done nothing to up their security when they knew this was a problem, I want it out of the company.
Did Storage Rentals of America know about their security issues? And if they did, what were they doing about it?
I don't have all the resources to dig, but somebody else does.
21 Investigates reached out to Storage Rentals of America's office in New Haven to try and find some answers for the Parkers. But we were given a corporate phone number that wasn't in service and a general email address that bounced back. We did reach someone at their customer call center, but were hung up on when we asked for better contact information. Finally, we sent an email through their customer service portal on their website and got, as they called it, a canned response, but haven't heard back since. With no answers from the storage company, Christina invited us to the scene of the crime at the facility on Lower Huntington Road.
That's all they left. That's it.
With nothing to see but some furniture pads, storage bin lids, and trash, we started to see more concerning things. Parts of padlocks cut and left behind, damaged latches where locks are secured, poor fencing, and a lack of security cameras.
There's not a single camera in here anywhere.
Christina showed us around and showed us how she thinks thieves easily stayed out of sight when her unit was broken into.
They went right out this door.
And that's when we discovered another concern.
What in the heck? There's a tent popped back here. Look at that.
It's not exactly clear what was happening here, but a storage facility in Waynedale is a pretty unusual choice to take your lawnmower camping.
You might not want to disturb.
Christina quickly surveyed the scene and, as a safety precaution, called the cops.
Didn't I say we're going to get over here? I was going to end up having to call the police. I'm at the Storage Rentals of America in Waynedale.
And you're at Storage Rentals of America?
Yes, ma'am.
Christina told police dispatch what was going on, and around 30 minutes later, FWPD was on the scene.
This is supposed to be a storage facility. This is supposed to be inside their area. This is all their property. That's not supposed to be there.
This is where it gets tricky. Because Storage Rentals of America had no employee on site at the time, the officers explained their hands were tied.
Yeah, so the issue is, since it's private property, we'd have to talk to them to make sure that this isn't something where they gave someone permission. We have no property interest in this place because it's private property, so we can't tell someone to leave unless the owner asks us to.
We were told there's no consent to enforce agreement between Storage Rentals of America and Fort Wayne Police.
So that means when we come in and we see something, we can take care of it for you without you acting in your best interest.
Yeah, without having to talk to me.
So we don't have anything like that with this place.
Now, the officers did look around and even found a clear path through a back fence. But again,
Yeah, outside of that, there's not much else we can do right now for you.
still with no word from Storage Rentals of America, 21 Investigates started looking into the company. And we didn't have to look far to find an F rating from the Better Business Bureau and this report from our sister station, WNDU in South Bend.
Recent crimes at a storage facility in Michiana.
Storage Rentals of America is a national chain. Currently carries an F rating from the Better Business Bureau. There have been 106 reports of either theft or some type of tampering with the units.
It's 2024. Cameras are cheap.
But there were no cameras, no answers, no responsibility taken by the storage facility at the Munson location that he stored his items, which he said were valued at over $20,000.
When something's going on, all of a sudden it's, oh, file a police report, hope you had insurance, and we'll see you later. And it's, what's your responsibility in this? They're like, oh, we have none. Well, you have to have something.
That report from January of 2024 was all too familiar in regard to what the Parkers have gone through. We asked Christina if she had a message for the Storage Rentals of America should we reach them.
We're not rich people. We work every single day. We've worked for years for everything that we had in there. I feel like people need to know your stuff's not safe. And that could be everything you got.
Now, John did hear from Christina today, and she says her struggles continue. She says she was told the storage company's insurance never received that list of missing items or the police report.
And in the meantime, all questions 21 Investigates sent to Storage Rentals of America have gone unanswered. We will keep you posted.
Also, in the meantime, it may not be a bad idea to check out your own storage rental agreement in case of a break-in, and check the reviews on any facility you may plan to use.
And if you have something you want 21 Investigates to look into, you can head to 21alivenews.com and submit your tip now.